Hey, Maria, back with another video, and it's like 2:01 p.m., April 3rd, 2018. I got home a little while ago. I had to get my tire patched. Like with all the anger and aggravation I was dealing with before I made these videos, I had to go outside to get ready to go to work and find out that my truck, or my son's truck, I should say, was driving bumpy on the road. And I'm like, what the heck? So I pulled around and looked at the truck, the tires, and guess what? One was flat. I mean, very flat. So of course, at the point right now, I'm at breaking point, and I'm already pissed off because, well, anyways, that's the reason why I'm making this video. It's because I realize that when you're in this situation, this is how damaging this sort of behavior, this illegal, immoral, and just everything under the sun kind of employment practices are, is that it really hurts the person who is under this. Okay, it denies them their basic rights. They can't help themselves when they need to. They know they're worth more, but they can't do and find something better because somebody's controlling the strings. They can't, and that's difficult. How would you like it if you could not be in a position to take care of yourself? It is the most dehumanizing thing for somebody to put a system in place for that to happen. And that's one of the reasons why I look at this as a major woman's issue. And I was saying earlier today to one of my friends, I never really thought much about women's issues because, I always thought it was more things that, only lesbians were really interested in women's issues. Only lesbians who wanted to play football or wanted to do something that was more masculine and wanted to bring awareness. I never paid much attention to women's issues, okay? But I will say in this particular situation, and yes, it is very racial because I do believe that, the whole issue with me lying to my husband sparked off some sort of, racial bullshit in Karen Johnson and Steve Murray's head to where they felt that they were justified to take some sort of racial action against me because there's really nothing else to the story, okay? Really, it's not that big of a deal, and it did happen like almost 20 years ago. So, I mean, that's like grasping for straws when you really think about my overall personality. So I think, all of this bullshit, I'm suffering unnecessarily for bullshit. That is not illegal. That is not anything that these people can't, that I think what these people have done is 10 times worse. But I noticed that, people don't want to take responsibility for something like this. And what I don't appreciate is how people minimize your feelings and how you are experiencing what they themselves created. I can't take responsibility for any of this. Nobody can justify with any good explanation as to why they took it upon themselves to act out this sort of bullshit rage. Okay? Nobody can without telling the absolute truth. And the truth is, we already know what the truth is. Okay? We know that this was bullshit from the very get-go. So anyway, but what bothers me so much is that you've got these pompous people, like the people I mentioned in my earlier video, and I'm not going to take it back. I have every right to throw out names. I have every right because this has been going on for entirely too long. How would you like to be under psychological pressure, stress, you're losing everything financially, you're worried about yourself, and somebody's sitting there, thinking they're high on their throne and deciding your fate? How dare you? How fucking dare you ever think that you had any right over me? And that to me kind of smacks of racism. It kind of does. It really does. But, this is also is a women's issue when you throw in the cute guy. Okay? Now, I understand people get competitive or whatever. Some people are like that. They don't want the person they like to be around anybody else. And that's understandable to a certain degree. Like I told him, and I hate sounding like a broken record, I would have done it myself, okay? But my point is that this sort of behavior is subjugating a woman, and it could be a very dangerous situation. That's why it's illegal, Like, what if he was a monster? Like, what if this guy was somebody who's going to beat me, and then he's holding all the cards? I can't get away. This guy could be beating me and doing all kinds of stuff, but I can't help myself. It puts a woman into a situation where she is open wide to abuse. That's why it's a woman's issue. And that's what pisses me off so much. you know? And yeah, and then they throw in the Christian thing, okay? But that tells me that some men might be very abusive to their wives in a situation like this. We think of abuse, we think of people who are physically hitting a woman, okay? There are several forms of abuse. Kind of like how my family did me. That's abuse, okay? You know, the constant put downs, the constant, you know, let's just fucking try to thrash her life type stuff. That's a form of abuse, okay? Same thing. Okay, I don't want to deal with a bunch of people, and I have to be very selective about who I deal with, okay? That's why I resent the fact that these so-called, you know, I don't know, they think they're some kind of gods or something, because, you know, you got to have a god complex to do the kind of shit that they do. You have to. You know, because I would never in a million years think to start manipulating even my son's life, okay? That's my own son, and I wouldn't dare sit there and try to map out what my kid's going to do. Because I know, and anybody knows, that a person has the right to make those decisions for themselves. You know what I mean? And you're going to try to use bullshit excuses? Is the bullshit excuse that I lied to my husband, is that it? Why is that an issue with you? And if it is an issue with you, you're a fucking goddamn racist. Because it has nothing to do with you. Unless, of course, it pisses you off because of white supremacy. Stop being stupid in front of the goddamn world already. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to name this video Strange Kind of Humans. I look at people and I'm just like blown away at their stupidity. I can't deal with it, you know, because I understand that these people are dangerous to other people and they're dangerous to themselves. You know what I mean? But they don't see it that way. You know, they just want to, they think, oh, this is optional. People need to just, you know, relax. You know, you're taking this too serious. You're damn fucking right. You know why? Because I'm sitting here without a vehicle. Okay? I've done everything I could to find decent employment for myself. Okay? I've gone here, there, everywhere. I've even looked in the other side of the United States. And the reason why I can't do this is because the bullshit is put in place. Okay? Everybody's having fun thinking that this is either some sort of glorious love story or whatever, and it might be, who knows. But my point is that, you know, it's not the fucking goddamn Truman Show. I'm a person who has suffered unnecessarily for shit that I had nothing to do with. Okay? That's why. Okay? I'm a fucking almost 50-year-old woman who should have more, and I know it. I know it, and you know it too. It's bullshit. So stop coming up with your bullshit excuses because you know they don't hold any water. The fucking fact is you're no different than somebody who's wearing a fucking goddamn sheet over their goddamn head. Duh. Anyway. So yeah, fucking strange kinds of humans. The kind of person that could be obnoxious, obviously obnoxious, and have no clue that they're doing anything wrong. God, do we not need to get rid of those kind of people off the fucking earth? I personally think that we should. But anyway, I'm law-abiding, so I keep my cool, okay? I keep my cool. But the fact remains, you know, there's some people that I personally think should not be able to breed children. And these are the kinds of people I'm talking about. Idiots. And this is fucking idiotic. So, I said what I needed to say. I'm not going to take it back. I'm not going to say I'm sorry, okay? Because this shit's been going on for years. Okay, and the very fact that I left this person's place of employment back in 2009, and it's 2018, you know what I mean? Seems like this has been going on a long time. I'm sick of the bullshit, you know what I mean? Once you leave a person's place of employment, that's it. Period. I worked for you, okay? Base it off of what I did. I did a good job for you. You know, too bad you let your accounts receivable clerk sit there and act like she was some fucking goddamn princess. And yes, you did. You knew that she was mobbing me. You knew she was always causing problems. Okay, in a mobbing situation, there is no winning. You cannot negotiate with that person. There's something set in motion, you know, to make sure that person does not win. And all this bullshit coming from my family is what sparked all this shit. Stupid. Anyway, I will say that I was going back to workplace mobbing. Oh, I was thinking today as I was driving my son's truck home, which I was pissed off that we had to go get a patch for it, and luckily my son was paying for it, and I did appreciate it because God knows his mom wants to eke out every bit of money she can because she might end up needing food, she might end up needing this. Fuck that. I'm tired of it. I didn't deserve to be put in this situation. But anyway, as I was driving, I was thinking, You know, I personally believe that most mobbing situations are inflicted by some sort of perpetrator, so not perpetrator, some sort of predator. Okay, like in my family when I was growing up, in my my blood relations. Okay, those god awful people. These people were the ones who were perpetrators or um, predators at one point, meaning they were stalking me. Okay, this is a form of domestic stalking. Doesn't have to be a spouse or whatever. And then I'm getting all this chaos. And a lot of times when people are dealing with gang stalking, of course, it starts in the workplace. My question is, I'm sure sometimes coworkers have disagreements with coworkers, okay? But how much of the percentage of these people who have been gang stalked do we believe, can we actually trace back and say this was actually some sort of stalking related issue, okay? And they are. Okay, in my opinion, I personally think most of them are. Okay, now once in a while you'll get like an employer, kind of like the lady over in Chatsworth, who decided to go fucking ape shit and try to sit here and like track me down for the last almost 10 years over something I said to my husband had nothing to do with her, but she doesn't want to admit that she's a racist to the fucking world. So she wants to come up with some other bullshit excuse, okay? Has nothing to do with anything, and you know it. But anyway, who's to say? But see, the thing with Karen is that she was influenced by my family, which is, under this category, would be a stalker, okay? She was fueled by some sort of outside source deliberately. And then there are some targets who are having problems with work, not necessarily relating to their families, but just somebody they just didn't get along with. Maybe that some girl, some lady, like I remember Lisa used to not like this one lady girl who sat there and styled her hair at the desk. Okay, I never met this girl, but she was telling me about her. Maybe she, over petty issues. Okay, like what Lisa is talking about. She could be bullying this person, without somebody, encouraging her, or without her knowing this particular person's family, okay? I'd like to know what's the percentage of that. Like, where does it start? Unfortunately, most people aren't able to track it back because, most people don't even know where the source of their mobbings and the harassment is coming from. Because like I said, they have other things to do in their life. They don't have time to reflect back on, back and forth on what happened here or what happened there. But that's an issue also. And then also I think another contributing factor for them not having that knowledge right away is because it is very covert. You know what I mean? Like these people were in touch with my family. Nobody ever came around and said, hey, I know so-and-so, so-and-so. They arranged this particular... No one does that shit. Okay, but then the person who's giving you that job or helping you and assisting you becomes narcissistic. That's one of the reasons why I don't believe that and relationships of personal family issues mix. I prefer to keep it. But they didn't care that I wanted to keep my, that's why pisses me off about these people. They don't care how I feel, what I think, what it makes me do, how I suffer. They don't give a flying fuck about that because their main agenda is to sit here and, be the center of attention in some sort of Facebook issue that nobody told me about. Okay, but I suffer, they don't care. And that's their God complex mentality. So anyway, my thing is that I think most of it is encouraged by outside sources. Like I said, either my family or in this case, cute guy, since of 2014 may have been manipulating my employment situations to where, I'm encountering women that are kind of catty and taking it out on me. I'm not doing anything, okay? And the reason it would not be happening if these people were not involved in some way, okay? And I understand the cute guy, I'm cutting him some slack, but what I'm upset with are the employers because, like, I believe my ex-boss, who basically let me get mobbed out of my job and mobbed me herself and just did all kinds of rude things, and she's a very rude person, and she's somebody who lacks empathy. That's why she does what she does, okay? And those kind of people are very dangerous to me. And then I believe Steve Murray is another person who lacks empathy. And these kind of people I want to get away from, okay? Because these people can damage you. The reason why I'm suffering right now is because I'm dealing with these monsters. That's why. Okay? They're those narcissistic people right up there with my family and all the other people. Narcissism is more common than you think. Okay? And I try to avoid that mindset. But anyway, but yeah, it would be interesting to know if people could actually gather that kind of information, that data, because I do believe that the majority of workplace mobbings are initiated or ignited by outside sources that relate to stalking of some kind, whether that be predatory, whether that be the kind of stalking that relates to domestic stalking. That could be, a family member, mom, sister, brother, whatever. So, and maybe there's a combination of both. Who knows? But my point is that it's information that needs to be really looked at. Anyway, yeah, so now that I basically shown everybody that I'm more than qualified to do my job, I need to start building my life back. Because I'm tired of suffering for shit that I had nothing to do with. Okay? I resent being held back from what I need to do in life. Okay? That's my decision. Okay? You don't own it. You don't own me. Okay? Maybe white people are so goddamn racist that you think that you do. You don't. Okay? Get that through your thick skulls. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm a little pissed off, but I needed to say that. And I have every right to say that. And you know what? If somebody was to look at me and try to, even for 1 minute, look down on me for saying it, then something's wrong with them. Because I have every right to speak out for this, because I am 100%, 200% right on this issue. And not one person could actually say one thing to debate that. Period. So anyway, fix your shit, get the hell out of my life. Wrapping up this video, I will be back with another one later. Hey, I will say that I'm getting a little bit better. My mood is unwinding a little bit more, okay? And it's because I have to talk about it. I have to. Like, my son doesn't want to hear my shit, right? Because obviously he knows, he doesn't want to sit here and tell me he knows. It's all hush-hush, and I get that. I get it. Nobody wants to sit here and say, hey, you know what? I'm responsible for doing what actually ended up happening to you. You know what I mean? And what ended up happening to me is a result of my fucking family and these stupid racist employers. My family had a completely different agenda. Their agenda was they felt like they were slighted because, I made up some lie. It had nothing to do with them. Nothing. I mean, I wasn't sitting here thinking, I wonder how my mom would feel if I said that. I fucking wasn't thinking about her. That's just stupid, but that's their excuse. And then, of course, Johnson and Murray, they hear it and they're like, well, fucking let's put on our hoods and start terrorizing, right? That's their fucking agenda. Everybody has their own reasons for doing what they're doing. Okay? I'm not dumb. But I will say, you guys are. You guys are fucking way dumb. And it's obvious. Wrapping up this video. Be back with another one later.